Have you ever looked at someone and realized they had no idea what they were holding? Like they had something rare in their hands and they treated it like it was common. Like they had a diamond and they were using it to prop open a door. That's what we're talking about today. Talking about today. And I'm going to tell you something that's going to hit you right in the chest, because you have been on the other side of this. You've been the one who was treated like you were optional when you were actually the whole damn story. Here is what I need you to understand before we go any further. When someone puts you on the shelf, it's not because you belong there. No, it's because they don't know how to handle what you are. They don't have the capacity to hold something that valuable. So they put you somewhere convenient, somewhere they can access you when they feel like it, somewhere that doesn't require them to step up and be the person who deserves what you're offering. Uncomfortable truth. You let them. Yeah, you let them. You accepted that placement because somewhere along the way, you started believing that being on the shelf was better than being nowhere at all. That's the quiet devastation that nobody talks about. The slow erosion of your own worth. Because you got used to being treated like an option. You got used to being the backup plan. You got used to being the person they called when whatever else they were chasing didn't work out. And the worst part is you started to believe that's where you belonged. You started to believe that the shelf was your natural habitat. That being put somewhere out of sight was just how things were gonna be. But something shifted, didn't it? Something in you finally broke open and said, enough. Enough. And here's what happens when you finally walk away from someone who kept you on the shelf. Here is what happens when you stop being convenient. When you stop being available at their whim. When you stop accepting the crumbs they were throwing at you. Actually, everything changes. Not for you, because you're already in a process of becoming someone new. But for them, for the person who kept you on that shelf, thinking you'd always be there, thinking you'd always be waiting, thinking you'd always be an option. Everything falls apart because what they didn't realize, what they could not see through all their self-absorption, is that you were not just someone they could put on a shelf and retrieve when they felt like it. You were the whole foundation. You were the thing that made their life work without them even knowing it. And when you left, when you finally walked away and took your energy with you, the whole structure started to crumble, collapse. That's what people do not understand about us. They don't understand that we are not just the warm body. We're not just the person who shows up. We are the energy that holds things together. We are the stability. We are the calm in the storm. And when we leave, when we when we finally have enough self-respect to walk away from being treated like an afterthought, the storm hits. And they are not ready for it. They never see it coming because they were so busy, too busy, assuming we'd always be there. They were too busy taking us for granted. They were too busy putting us on the shelf while they played around with whatever shiny thing caught their attention that week. Let me paint you a picture of what's happening on their side of things. Because I know you've been wondering, I know you've been lying awake at night, wondering if they ever noticed you were gone, wondering if they ever care, wondering if any of it meant anything to them. And I need you to hear me when I tell you this. They noticed the moment you pulled your energy away. They might not have shown it. They might have acted like everything was fine. They might have continued on with their life like nothing happened. But the inside, they were falling apart. Their ego was screaming. Their entire sense of self was being dismantled. Because here is the thing about people who put you on the shelf. They need you more than you need them. I'm going to stop here. They need you more than you need them. They just don't know it yet. You were the anchor. You were the stability. You were the person who made them feel like they had their life together, because you were holding it all up while they ran around chasing whatever temporary high they could find. And now you're gone. The anchor is gone. And they are floating in open water with no sense of direction. That's why they are spiraling. That's why they cannot sleep at night. That's why they find themselves thinking about you at the most random moments. That's why they hear a song and they think of you. That's why they drive past a place and they remember you. Because you were embedded in their life in ways they never acknowledged. And now that you are not there, there is this gaping hole that nothing else can fill. They tried to fill it with other people. They tried to distract themselves. They went out more. They partied harder. They chased other connections, other bodies, other attention. And all of it was just noise. All of it was just a desperate attempt to not feel the absence of you. But the absence is there. It's always there. Is the first thing they think about when they wake up, and the last thing they think about before they fall asleep. You see, when you're on someone's shelf, they can pretend you do not exist. They can pretend you are not important. They can pretend that you are just an option, just someone they can get to when they feel like it. But the moment you are not there anymore, the moment the shelf is empty, they cannot pretend. The evidence of your absence is everywhere. Everything feels wrong. Nothing feels like it used to. And they cannot figure out why. Yet, they cannot figure out why their life suddenly feels hollow. They cannot figure out why nothing brings them the safe and same satisfaction. They cannot figure out why everything feels like it's in black and white. And then it hits them. It hits them like a freight train going full speed. You're the color in their life. You were the warmth. You were the thing that made everything else make sense. And they treated you like you were nothing. They put you on a shelf. Yeah. While they entertained people who didn't hold a candle to you. While they wasted time and energy on connections that were surface level at best. While they convinced themselves they were better off without you. Here's the thing about truth. It always catches up with you. It always finds you. And the truth for them is that they messed up. They really messed up. They had something that most people spend their whole lives looking for, and they treated it like it was disposable. They treated you like you were replaceable. And now that you're gone, now that you have moved on, they are realizing that there is no replacement. There is no one else who can do what you did. There is no one else who can make them feel the way you made them feel. There is no one else who saw them the way you saw them and loved them anyway. That's the ultimate regret. Not just losing you, but realizing that they had you and they threw you away. Yeah, realizing that they had something precious and they didn't recognize it until it was gone. Realizing that they are stuck with the memory of what they had and the knowledge that they will never have it again. That's a special kind of pain. That's a pain that lives in your bones. That's a pain that stays with you no matter how much time passes. And they are living in that pain right now. They are living in the regret. They are living in the I should have known. Yeah. They are living in the what was I thinking. They are replaying every moment, every conversation, every time they chose something else over you. They are seeing it all with new eyes. And they are seeing how patient you were, how forgiving you were, how many chances you gave them, how many times you overlooked their flaws and their mistakes and their selfishness. Selfishness, yeah. And they are realizing that no one will ever do that for them again. Because you are special. You were different. You were the one who saw through the surface. You were the one who stayed when things got hard. You were the one who chose them even when they didn't choose you back. And now they understand that kind of love doesn't come around twice. That kind of love is once in a lifetime. And they let it slip through their fingers because they were too busy chasing things that didn't matter. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Because it's not just that they are spiraling, it's that they are spiraling publicly. People are noticing. Friends are asking questions. Co-workers are commenting on how different they seem. Family is worried. Everyone can see that something's wrong. Everyone can feel that something's wrong and tell that they are not the same person they used to be. And they cannot hide it anymore. The mask is slipping, the facade is crumbling, and underneath it all is just this raw, unprocessed grief for what they lost. They've tried to reach you out to you. Maybe you've seen the signs. Maybe you have noticed the way they're hovering around your social media, the way they are liking old posts, the way they are showing up in places they know you will be, the way they are asking mutual friends about you. They are trying to find a way back in, but they don't know how. They don't know how to come to you, don't have the words, they don't have the courage, because they know what they did, they know how they treated you, and they know that they don't deserve a second chance, but they are going to try anyway, because the alternative is living with this regret forever. The alternative is accepting that they lost you. And they cannot accept that. They cannot accept that you are gone. They cannot accept that you have moved on. They cannot accept that someone else might get to have you. Someone else might get to appreciate you the way they never did. Someone else might get to see all the things they were too blind to see. And that thought is eating them alive. It's keeping them up at night. It's making them angry. It's making them desperate. They are making decisions they wouldn't normally make. They are acting out. They are doing things that are completely out of character. They are trying to get your attention any way they can, because the silence is killing them. The fact that you are not responding to them is driving them insane, crazy. The fact that you seem fine, that you seem happy, that you seem to be thriving without them is their worst nightmare. Because they thought you needed them. They thought you couldn't function without them. They thought you would fall apart if they were not in your life. And now they are watching you rise. They are watching you become everything you were always meant to be. And they are realizing that you never needed them at all. They needed you. They needed you. You were the one holding it all together. You were the one making everything work. And now that you're gone, they are the ones falling apart. That's the great irony of this entire situation. They had you on a shelf because they thought you were beneath them. They thought you were less than. They thought they were doing you a favor by keeping you around. And all along, you were the one who was above them. You were the one who was too good for them. You were the one who deserved to be on a pedestal. But they were too small to see it. They were too limited to recognize what was right in front of them. And now they are paying the price. Now they are living with the consequences of their own arrogance. Now they are the ones who are lost and confused, of course, and desperate. They are the ones who are spiraling. They are the ones who cannot figure out how to move forward. That's sad. They are the ones who are stuck in the past, replaying every moment, wishing they could go back and do things differently. But here's the thing. They cannot go back. Time doesn't work like that way. Even if they could go back, they wouldn't know what to do differently, because they didn't appreciate you when they had you. They didn't see your value. They didn't understand what they were holding. And that's not something you can fix with a time machine. That's something you have to live with. That's something that becomes part of your story. That's something that defines who you are going forward. And so they are stuck. They are stuck in this space between wanting you back and knowing they don't deserve you. They are stuck in this place between reaching out and staying silent. They are stuck in this space between hope and desperation. And they don't know how to get out. They don't know how to move forward. They don't know how to let go. Because letting go of you means accepting that they made the biggest mistake of their life. And that's not something they are ready to do. So they spiral. They keep spiraling. They keep spinning in circles, trying to figure out how to fix something like that, something that cannot be fixed. They keep obsessing over what they could have done differently. They keep wondering if there's still a chance. They keep hoping, that somehow, some way, you will come back. Because they cannot imagine a world where you are not in it. They cannot imagine a life without you. Even though they are the ones who created that life. They are the ones who created all this story. Even though they are the ones who pushed you away, and all of this is happening while you're over here, living your life, while you're moving forward, while you're healing, while you are growing into something even more powerful than you were before. You're not thinking about them the way they are thinking about you. You're not obsessing over what could have been. You're not stuck in the past. You are looking ahead. You are building something new. You are becoming the person you were always meant to be. And that's the most beautiful thing about all of this. They thought they could keep you small. They thought they could keep you on the shelf. They thought they could keep you in a box and take you out whenever they felt like it. But you broke out. You broke free. You refused to stay small. You refused to accept the role they gave you. And now you are living proof that the shelf was never your place. It was never where you belonged. It was never what you deserved. Because you deserved to be on pedestal. You deserved to be celebrated. You deserved to be appreciated. You deserved to be adored. And they could not give you that because they didn't have it in them. They didn't have it in them. They didn't have the capacity to see you for who you truly are. They didn't have the ability to recognize your worth. And that they didn't have the maturity to appreciate what they had. But now they do. Now they know. Now they understand. Now they see it with the perfect clarity. And it's too late. It's too late for them to fix it. It's too late for them to make it right. It's too late for them to get you back. Because you have moved on. You've grown. You've elevated. You've become someone who knows her or his worth. Someone who refuses to accept less than you deserve. Someone who will never put on a shelf again. And so they are left with the regret, they are left with the pain, they are left with the knowledge that they had something rare and they threw it away. They are left with the understanding that they could have had a beautiful life with you, but they chose something else. They chose something lesser. They chose something hollow. And now they are living with the consequences. That's the circle of life. That's the spiral. That's the spiral that never ends. That's the spiral that keeps them up at night. That's the spiral that follows them everywhere they go. That's the spiral that reminds them of what they lost and what they will never have again. Because you were the best they ever had. You were the one who saw them. You were the one who loved them. You were the one who believed in them. And they couldn't see it. They couldn't see that you were the whole package. That you were everything they ever wanted and more. And now they are realizing it. They are realizing it in the worst possible way. They are realizing it through loss, through absence, through the painful silence that you left behind. They are realizing it through the empty space in their life that nothing else can fill. They are realizing it through the dreams, the dreams where you are still together, where everything is beautiful and perfect, where the world makes sense again. And then they wake up, and you are not there. And maybe they reach out. Maybe they try to contact you. Maybe they send a message that's long and rambling and desperate. Maybe they show up somewhere they know you will be. Maybe they try to win you back with grand gestures and promises of change. But you know what I need you to remember? You need to remember the shelf. You need to remember how it felt to be put there. You need to remember the way they made you feel small, the way they made you feel like you were too much or not enough at the same time. The way they made you feel like you had to earn their love, like you had to prove yourself, like you had to beg for the attention that should have been freely given. Because that's the truth of who they are. That's the truth of who they were with you. And people do not change that much. They might learn, of course, they might grow, they might gain new perspective. But the fundamental way they showed you up for you, the fundamental way they treated you, that's who they were when it mattered. That's who they were when you needed them to be different. That's who they were when it counted. And so while they are spiraling, while they are regretting, while they are realizing what they lost, you are standing in a different place. You are standing in a place of strength. You are standing in a place of self-worth. You are standing in a place where you don't need their validation anymore because you have validated yourself. You don't need their love anymore because you have learned to love yourself. And I'm proud of you. That's really beautiful. You don't need their attention anymore because you've realized that attention doesn't equal love. You have grown. You've changed. You've become someone new, someone they don't even recognize anymore. And that's the best thing that could have happened to you. That's the gift they gave you when they put you on the shelf. Yeah. They gave you the opportunity to realize your own power. They gave you the opportunity to walk away and never look back. They gave you the opportunity to become the person you were always meant to be. And maybe you want to thank them. Now they are left with the aftermath. Yeah, they are left with the regret. They are left with the spiral. They are left with the painful knowledge that they had the best thing that ever happened to them. And they let it go. Yeah, they are left with the understanding that you were the one who got away, the one who would have made their life whole, the one who would have made them, loved them through anything. And they threw it away, all away, because they were too caught up in their own nonsense to see what was right in front of them. So let them spiral. Let them regret. Let them realize what they lost. You've got your own life to live. You've got your own destiny to fulfill. You've got your own journey to walk. And you're walking it with your head held high, knowing that you did everything you could, knowing that you gave them every chance, knowing that you loved them the best you could, and knowing that you deserve so much more than they were ever capable of giving you. That's the real truth. That's what this whole situation comes down to. Not their regret, not their spiral, not their pain, but your growth, your freedom, your power. You were the best they ever had, and they finally know it. But now you know it too. And you will never be on the shelf again, because you belong on a pedestal. You always did. They were just too blind to see it. And that blindness cost them everything. Now, you are standing in your truth. You are standing in your power. You are standing in the knowledge that you are not someone who can be put anywhere. You are not someone who can be set aside. You're not someone who can be forgotten. You are the one they will always remember. You are the one they will always compare everyone else to. You are the one they will always regret losing. Because you were the best they ever had. And they know it now. They know it in their bones. They feel it. Yeah, they feel it in every lonely moment. They taste it in every failed connection that comes after you. And you don't have to do anything. You don't have to reach out. You don't want to do that, actually. You don't have to respond. You don't have to validate their regret. You don't have to give them closure. You don't have to do anything at all except continuing being the person you've become, continuing walking your path, continuing growing and evolving and becoming more of who you are. Because that's the most beautiful form of justice. That is the most powerful response. That is the most complete victory. And they will watch. Yeah, they will watch from a distance. They will see you thrive. They will see you succeed. They will see you become everything they knew you could be, but were too afraid to support. And they will know. Yeah, they will know that they messed up. They will know that they lost something irreplaceable. They will know that they had a diamond, and they treated it like a glass. And that knowledge will stay with them for the rest of their lives. That's the ultimate regret. That's the spiral. That's the realization that you were always the one they should have been put on pedestal, the one that they should have worshipped, the one they should have fought for, and they didn't. They put you on a shelf instead, and now they are paying the price every single day, every single night, every single moment of their lives. That's their consequence, yeah. That's their burden. That's their cross to bear. And you are free. You are beautiful. You are powerful. You are everything they couldn't handle. And you are going to keep being exactly who you are, without apology, without compromise, without looking back. Because the only thing that matters now is you, your happiness, your peace, your freedom, your life, your home. And that life is going to be extraordinary. That life is going to be everything you ever dreamed of, and more, and more. And they are going to watch it all happen from the sidelines, wishing they could be part of it, knowing they cannot. Because they had their chance, and they chose the shelf instead of the pedestal. And there is no coming back from that. So let them spiral, let them regret, let them realize it's their lesson. You've got better things to do with your time. You've got a life to live, and you are going to live it fully, freely, and without looking back. You're going to show the world exactly who you are, and the world is going to put you on a pedestal. The right people are going to recognize your worth. The right people are going to celebrate who you are. The right people are going to love you the way you deserve to be loved. And when that happens, when you find yourself surrounded by people who see your value, who appreciate your gifts, who honor your presence, you are going to look back on this moment and smile. Yeah. You're going to realize that being on that shelf was the best thing that ever happened to you, because it taught you to never accept less than you deserve. It taught you to walk away from anyone who cannot see your worth. It taught you to love yourself so deeply that no one can ever make you feel small again. That's the gift. That's the blessing. That's the transformation. You were never meant to be on the shelf. You were always meant to be on the pedestal. And now you know it. And now they know it. And that knowledge is going to keep them spiraling for a long, long time while you keep rising. Yeah, that's right. While you keep thriving, while you keep becoming everything you were always meant to be. Yeah. You were the best they ever had. And now they finally know it. But you always knew it. You always knew it. And that's what makes all the difference.